Welcome back to Wall again and another Pink Floyd review. Welcoming Eric back. How is things, Eric?
How's it going, Rob? How are you? You back for more Pink Floyd?
Back for more, absolutely, yeah. Can't get enough of the Pink Floyd these days.
Yeah,
So this was a very interesting album, I have to say.
yeah,
Not really what I expected.
yeah. Some good songs on there.
Yeah.
Yeah, will surprise you. Soundtrack for a movie called More.
Soundtrack for a movie. This is the second one, or well, I suppose for in chronological order, this was the first one, but they had another one that we covered a few weeks ago.
Yeah, that's right. For Obscure by Clouds.
Obscured by Clouds. Yeah, and that was quite a good one if I remember correctly. We
Yeah,
were impressed with
it was
that.
actually pretty good album.
So how do you think this one stacks up against that one, Eric?
Yeah, there's definitely a lot of there is a lot of filler, but you have to remember that it is a soundtrack to a
Yeah.
movie. So there's
Yes.
gonna be bits in there that are just again just like kind of snippets or soundtrack kind of songs.
Yeah.
But there are some good songs in there, and some songs I believe that they added into their tour, and also like Line is one song that really stands out to me. It's a good tune. The Nile song, it's like a
Yeah.
Pink
Love
Floyd,
that one.
Led Zeppelin or something that's really rocky.
The Doors
Um,
or Cream. Yeah.
yeah, Cream. Yeah, you can really hear that kind of like dazed and confused, kind of Led Zeppelin style. And then,
Yes.
what's the song? Actually, there's another one there.
Up the
The
Khyber. I
the
thought Up the
Ibiza
Khyber
song.
was a good song.
I think the Ibiza song is a good one
Yeah.
as well. It's like it's a real Led Zeppelin rock song. And then in between it, then you've got like weird kind of like bongo kind of
Yeah.
led
Yeah.
songs and Green is the color. That's actually a good tune as well. And Nick Mason's Sorcerer for the Secrets. I don't know if you ever heard of them, Rob. That's them
Oh
boys
yeah.
there. A fantastic tour actually. I had tickets, but I actually couldn't go in the last minute. My brother was getting married. He was, but I
Okay.
bought this anyways. So if you'll dig the early Pink Floyd stuff, from Piper the Gates of Dawn all the way up to Metal, it's
Yeah.
kind of like pre Dark Side of the Moon. These lads cover all them songs and they do an amazing job. Really surprise you. So that's Nick Mason's Sorcerer for the Secrets. And the reason why I bring that in is because they play songs off of More. They play. Let me see. Uh, what did they do off More? So they have Green is the color. Um, what else did they do on that? The Noel song. They do that on there as well.
Brilliant.
And they have like even songs off of Obscure by Clouds. They play a lot of songs off that. If you really dig that album. Atom of the Heart. They done the not the whole thing, but Atom of the Heart and If they do that live on that as well. So it's a good kind of snapshot of kind of Pink Floyd then, but it's kind of modernized a little bit.
For sure. For sure. Yeah, it definitely surprised me this one.
Yeah,
I wasn't because it was linked to a movie. My expectations were lower because they weren't writing this as a music project. It was a film
yeah,
project which required music, and they were providing that. But as you say, the Nile song, I think it's very good. Like we're in the late '60s here when this was released.
yeah,
Cream were coming in with the psychedelic rock and the kind of bluesy kind of stuff, and uh, I think the Nile song fits in very well with that. I actually think the drumming in that sounds very like it could have been played by Ginger Baker from Cream.
yeah. Apparently, Nick Mason was heavily influenced by Ginger Baker. He went to
Okay.
a show when he saw he had two double kicks,
Yeah.
and he said, "I want two double kicks," and he came and that's where he got the idea from. I heard that in that audiobook actually, Inside Out.
Cool.
So check that out. Actually, some good stories in there.
Brilliant. Brilliant. Yeah. So I really like that. And I like Up the Khyber as well. There's some elements of free jazz in there.
Yeah,
If you've ever heard the Radiohead album Kid A, like to me, seems like they took some influence from what Pink Floyd did at
yeah,
certain albums, and I wouldn't be surprised if they had this album on their radar
yeah,
when they were thinking about that particular album.
yeah.
But yeah, no, all in all, I enjoyed this as a listen.
Yeah, it's a little hidden
Didn't blow
gem.
me away.
You'd overlook it easily. I mean,
Yeah.
compared to, I think they spent all their good music on Omaguma on this, and they missed out on Omaguma, and they probably had no material left.
Possibly because they were released in the same year. So this
Same
was
year,
released in June of 1969, probably
yeah,
to coincide with the movie. And then the other, Umbagumma, was released in November of 1969. So
yeah,
ambitious project, releasing two albums in a year.
yeah,
So yeah, this was the third studio album by the band. So again, they only had two albums released, and then they went and recorded an album for a movie. So again, they weren't afraid to take risks in the early days,
Yeah,
or throughout their whole career, to be honest.
yeah,
It was the label for this one was EMI, and it was recorded at Pi Studios in London and produced by the band themselves. So yeah, I was very impressed with this, to be honest. Like in terms of what I thought it might have been. Now I don't it didn't blow me away, but the
yeah,
production is good. There's nothing in there that, probably shouldn't be there when you take it into the context of a movie soundtrack.
yeah,
So yeah, out of 10, I give this one a 5.
yeah,
So it's not doing anything wrong.
yeah,
But it's not blowing me away. It's just it's mid-table there for me.
yeah, yeah. To be honest, now there are a few good songs in this. Cymbeline, good tune. The Nile song, the Ibiza song. Circus Minor, good song as well.
Yeah,
So it's decent. The album art was actually done as well. It's a still from the movie with just like an effect on it. So it's that's Storm Thurgerson again, I believe, from
very, very cool.
Hypnosis. So yeah, decent album, man. I give it a solid 4 out of 10. You know, it's
Yeah,
obviously not up there at their best, and there are better albums than it, but it's
yeah.
way better than Numba Gumma,
Oh
in my
yeah,
opinion. So
yeah, yeah.
yeah,
Sure.
that's yeah, it's a decent listen.
Very good. Well, let us know what you think of Pink Floyd more. It's a movie soundtrack, but it's also a studio album by the band. And do you think it's something that maybe should be rated higher in the collection, or maybe you don't think it should be in the collection at all? Let us know in the comments. And if you can hit like, subscribe, the notification bell, and share, really appreciate it. Helps out the channel a lot. And we'll talk to you next week for another Pink Floyd review. Bye now.